All right, I'm going to finish with two major, um, one major idea, but two slides here. Every distance learning program that's successful has killer, really solid, very concrete communication and communication components. Okay, the most successful distance learning situations are when that student still has or still feels a connection to you or me, a relationship with you and me. And there are, as we've talked about a couple different times, there's different ways to get feedback. There's different ways to build that sort of relational capital, which we all know is so critical to schools. But I want to say I think it's really helpful to think about the three different kinds. There's a difference between a check-in and a benchmark meeting and a conference. Okay, so we'll start with the big one. The conference is sort of after the fact, right? This student has done this amount of work up through the quarter or grading term or whatever, and we're kind of looking back at all of it. Okay, a benchmark or a mastery discussion is you've accomplished this or you've mastered this skill or you're in charge of this content now. Show kind of it's almost like a review in that they're showing what they know. A check-in is exactly what it sounds like, right? Instead of walking around the block, right, we're checking in with that student and finding out what they need, what they're doing next, that kind of thing. I found this really helpful in terms of check-in. Is think about three different kinds of meetings, right? Whether you're remote or whether we're getting to do this face to face. And the three meetings are a feedback meeting, a reflection meeting, and a mastery meeting. Okay, so feedback meeting is very similar to a check-in, right? The focus is targeted help. Okay, so I, as the teacher, I'm answering questions that the student has. Right, they're asking, hey, I wasn't sure what you meant on this, or I got this far, but then I don't know what else to go, or I'm kind of at a loss. I've done this, but I don't know where to go next. Okay, those are feedback meetings, right? And we have a lot of those. Those are sort of sprinkled throughout a whole learning unit. Okay, a reflection meeting is exactly what it sounds like. It's for the student to reflect on their own work or their own participation or their own, engagement with the class. Okay, the teacher's role in that scenario is to ask questions. Right, on a scale of 1 to 10, how engaged do you feel you have been? What are the things that have engaged you the most? What are the things that have not engaged you? Right, that kind of thing. The student's role is to answer questions in a reflection meeting. Right, they're reflecting back on their learning, their experience, their challenges, whatever it happens to be. The last one is a mastery meeting, which is where the focus is what are the mastery that we've accomplished or that you've gotten towards these certain objectives or skills or concepts or whatever. Both the teacher and the student are going to ask and answer questions in that scenario, right? If you think about this is almost a review, you think of a defense, right? A dissertation or something like that, right? Not that hardcore, but the students accomplished something. They've already mastered something, and now it's a kind of refinement and digging deeper on that mastery, so to speak. Again, I think one of the most critical aspects of distance learning or remote learning is what sorts of ways do you and I build those constant or consistent communication scenarios. One of the teachers that I follow on Twitter, he schedules the off-campus group. They have a standing meeting with each of his students. This is when they're off campus, they know they're going to meet with me at a specific time, even if they don't need help. That's okay. They just know it's an automatic standing meeting. That's what we're going to do. Here we go.